Hi guys, today we're going to talk about fear and greed. I want to give you a totally different perspective on fear and greed. A lot of people talk about it as a negative thing. It is not. So, hi guys. As you know, a lot of people talk about the concept of fear and greed. I would really like to replace the word greed with more with willingness to gain as opposed to greed. I think traders in their nature want to profit from their trading. And I don't necessarily think it's a great thing. I think everybody's looking for some sort of a success from the byproduct of what they do, and the people in trading obviously want to remain profitable for the long run. Everything that I'm going to tell you is my opinion. Please use only risk capital in futures trading, and past performance is not indicative of future results. You're dealing in futures contracts, it's very leveraged. Be careful, especially nowadays. The volatility is enormous during the day. It's reflected in the VIX. It's reflected in, I think it's called V stocks. For those who are trading European markets, that's an indication over there. So watch out for those indices, for those future contracts. They would give you the indication for the volatility as they go up and they go down. They don't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to trade them, but you can watch them even if it's delayed. So what I want to talk about today is, I mentioned this fear and greed, and there's always a kind of a simplification of this concept. So let me tell you about fear and greed, or the problem that I have with the current interpretation of fear and greed. It seems like there's a negative interpretation of fear and greed. It seems like those concepts of, like I said, of fear and the willingness to gain is basically something which is defective in our human nature. But I don't think it is. I think those are very good concepts that you should use in your trading. I think that you should especially use the fear factor. Now, it does not mean that you panic when everybody else panics, but being alert and having a little bit of fear from the market and being cautious about it, there is nothing wrong with it. The problem for majority of people, the way I see it, is that they panic when everybody else panics. So if you have a risk management plan before, and you say, if I encounter this market conditions and that's what I'm going to do, there's nothing wrong with it. And it should stem out of fear because it's capital. And if you don't have that plan, there will be a loss of capital. So having a plan ahead of time is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem that I have with people that will say there's fear, they always also have other sentences that go with it. That they say, you have to buy, when the street is bleeding. No, you don't. You don't know when the street is bleeding, and you don't know where the end of a bottom is. If anybody tried to catch a bottom for the last 2 weeks as a result of the coronavirus, I don't think they were very successful. In fact, I think they were, to say, politely, were very surprised, how much the market can actually dump in a panic situation. So having fear, it gives you a motivation to build a plan of risk management. There's nothing wrong with it. And the willingness to gain is basically recognizing that some situation can be overbought and oversold. You're not here to catch tops or bottoms, but you are here to assess when markets are right for your trading. So I feel that there are things in our nature that you really could take advantage of. It's the same concept of fight or flight. Fight or flight saved us for the last 100,000 years as we evolved as human beings. So there are things that are good in our instincts, and they truly help us. And I think you should think about the concept of fear and greed. When does everybody panic, and whether it's justified or not, and then you basically do the analysis from there. Again, you don't want to be caught with the crowds, but there is nothing wrong with the concept of being afraid of what the market would do. I think that the fear factor is actually a healthy factor, or you should use it in a healthy way. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a small account. And if you're trading over leveraged positions or too many positions for the accounts, that's not a good thing. So you have to think about, okay, maybe day to day I can do it, but what if extreme situations come? And you don't know when they're going to come, right? You don't know when the catalyst for the market to flip upside down will come. So having fear basically will make you develop a plan, right? That's what it is. So again, there's a lot of things out there that, there are those, I would say those phrases. You have to excuse me, I'm not very coherent today because I've been very tired for the last week because of the volatility and sitting in front of the screen and seeing those yo-yos. It takes a little bit of a toll on you. But in any case, getting back to topic, use phrases that people out there are throwing, right? Very cautiously. Develop a plan that is really appropriate for you and it's appropriate for your capital, and don't pay attention to everybody else. The saying that trading is a lonely business, well, it should be. And the reason it should be is because you need to develop your own plan. You have to develop your own method. You have to develop your own tools and not look at everybody else and what they're doing. Definitely, this is not a business where you should run to Reddit and other forums and ask people, well, I went long here. Do you think it's a wise idea? If you're not sure it's a wise idea and you can't convince yourself, it's probably not a good idea. So essentially, make sure that you have a plan. It's okay if you have fears. Just use them at the right time and use those instincts that we have in our DNA, such as fear, to develop a plan for yourself to deal with situations like we have today. I'd love to earn your business. We work really, really hard here. I have a great team. They're trying really hard to give customers the best customer service that there is in the industry. In my opinion, I've been doing this for a long time and I feel I have a good team. Would love to earn your business, match you with the right technology. Again, we want people with risk capital. We seek people with risk capital that understand the risks, that are involved in futures trading. If you don't understand the risk, you can always talk to us about it. Call us here. It's 1-800-771-6748. And always visit our site at www.optimusfutures.com. Thank you, and I wish you well, and please stay healthy. Bye.